Welcome to Second Balcony. I'm Ryan Hudson.
And I am Cade.
This is a podcast where we find movies that we have disagreements on and we talk about that.
Sometimes they're little disagreements, sometimes they're big disagreements.
And most of the time, it's me liking a movie and Cade not liking a movie.
That's true, but we're trying to even that out a little bit.
But the case is the same for today's movie.
Yep, I dislike this movie.
The Martian.
Yep, The Martian. I was really excited for this movie.
When it came out?
Yeah, I was excited. I went to the theater.
Yeah?
And everything, yeah.
Did you go by yourself? Or did you go with...
I think I went on a date.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at you. Humble brag.
I guess.
I mean, as our wives are in the other room.
Yeah, we're both married, Ryan, so...
I know.
I've been on a few dates in my time.
Okay, good for you, man. I saw this with my brother and my dad at a cheap theater. I don't know where we were. We were visiting someone in Utah.
Okay.
And we go into the theater, and I remember the theater's like, we show only some rated R movies. I was like,
what does that mean?
But I don't know. They show.
We don't show all of them, but once in a while.
But I remember we walked out of The Martian. I guess we'll probably talk about this, but it gets away with a lot language-wise. Or not a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Two distinct ones, and then you just see him mouth it like 3 times or something.
That's true. I do remember there's quite a bit of language in it.
But my dad was just, he didn't like...
Was he upset about the language?
He didn't like the language in it, yeah.
That makes sense. Your dad's a very conservative man.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Anyway, I want to kind of look back.
Dive on in there.
Yeah, where the Martian come from. Let's look at...
Where did it go?
Where did it come from? Cotton Eye Joe? I don't know the line.
I don't know. I remember it's like...
Where did he come from?
I don't know what...
I don't know.
Anyway,
Dang it,
Cotton Eye Joe watched this movie.
All right, so 2012. Let's start there.
Okay, 2012.
Prometheus comes out. Ridley Scott looks like he's coming back.
Except for Prometheus was just okay.
Yeah, Prometheus. We might actually talk about Prometheus. Because I like it, except for the fact that it's tied to the Alien universe.
Yeah, if it wasn't an Alien movie, I think it'd be better. I think I'd like it more. Same with Covenant. Like, I just don't like what Ridley Scott's doing to aliens.
It's weird that one's Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
We were talking off mic that Ridley Scott, we don't even know how to even think about his recent films.
I personally don't really like any of his recent films.
Okay, because after Prometheus... There's a movie called The Counselor.
I've never heard of it.
I have not seen it, but I know it has like every celebrity ever.
Yeah?
Michael Fassbender, Penelope Cruz, Cameron Diaz.
Michael Fassbender.
Javier Bardem. Gosh dang it. Brad Pitt. Anyway, and people did not like this movie.
Okay.
But some people love it.
Wow.
I know a few critics that say it's amazing, but most people don't like it.
What's it about?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's just a movie. 2013, The Counselor. What's the next one you did? Wasn't it Gods Among Us?
Yeah, say a movie I completely forgot existed.
We did before we were looking this up and doing a little bit of getting our brains going about The Martian and Ridley Scott.
TV movie called The Vatican. I don't know what that is.
But yeah, we just realized that Exodus God Among Us. Or God and Kings. It's not even that one.
Exodus.
That's a different movie that came out around that time. Gods Among Us. It's a completely different movie.
Is this one with Christian Bale? Yeah.
No, is it?
Christian Bale's
Moses.
Noah?
Oh, Moses. No, I was thinking of Noah's Ark.
Have you seen this one?
I've seen parts of this one, and I've also seen parts of the Noah's Ark Gods Among Us one.
I haven't seen either.
But like they've mixed together in my mind, apparently.
Well, that's the thing.
They're very forgettable and stupid.
I forgot about this movie. I just remember the trailer is like they're trying to make it look like an epic war film, but also the story of Moses, and I'm like, I don't think that
those don't really work.
Those aren't together. Moses is a sword slinging.
I don't know. I don't think that Bible movies are a good idea. I just don't think Bible movies are a good idea because there's too much up for interpretation.
Well, the thing is, religious movies make money though.
That's true, but I don't think if you want to have religious parallels, I think that's fine. But I just think that movies from the Bible or other religious texts, there's just too much going on, and I don't think somebody's gonna be upset about it, and you're never gonna make anybody happy. I don't think.
So it looks like it made Exodus Gods and Kings made $65 million, which isn't amazing in
like all together.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a
domestic
flop.
total gross. Yeah. I don't know. I forgot about this movie.
I don't know.
Completely.
Yeah, this movie just
see
exists, you guys.
But
you're welcome for the reminder that this is a movie.
His next movie then is The Martian,
which did better, and
and okay, the Second Balcony. One of us likes it, one of us doesn't like it. I love this movie.
Yeah, you gave it 5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars. 5 of them.
And you said I'm pretty liberal with my 5 stars. I went through my 5 stars, and I'm like, no.
If you want,
these are all good.
That's not like criticism of how you should run your rating system. That's just
I don't want our adoring fans to think I just give 5 stars willy nilly, Cade.
I just said you're more liberal with them. You give more 5 stars than I do.
Hold on. A
movie has to earn that crap with me.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna show you all my 5 stars as soon as I figure out.
Okay, you're getting
on we're using Letterboxd.
Letterboxd is our base.
Follow me. I'm Mr. Shirai Hud.
And Stan All E. Stan All E.
Stan All.
But Stan All Y. Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Anyway,
I'm sorry for the delay. Okay.
My review on The Martian is I think I gave it 2 stars. I think it deserves 3 stars after rewatching at least parts of it. It does deserve 3 stars in my opinion, but the 2 stars is out of pettiness, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. So, I remember watching it, walking out of the theater, I'm like, I don't know what I don't like about this movie. And then over time, because I haven't seen it since I watched it for this podcast.
Yeah.
So this is the second time I watched it.
Same here.
And I'm like, maybe there's things I won't like as much. But as I was rewatching it, I'm like, this movie is still so good. Yeah, I was just into it, man. I was loving it.
Okay. This isn't I'm going to start talking about the movie now. This isn't a problem, but one of the weird things about this movie, to me personally, is the number of comedians in it. You know what I mean?
It's got a crazy cast.
Like, it's got, Donald Glover, which mostly does comedy stuff. He does good serious stuff.
Kristen Wiig.
And Christian Wiig, and
we're looking at the cast.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels is like the head of the NASA. That's insane.
He is a serious actor, but he's
known for
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
He's great in it. And if you watch the bloopers, which I did, he's one of the more goofy out of everyone. And so is Kristen Wiig. Every blooper, she's mostly in all of them. It's just her being silly, but in the movie she's like a straight character.
Yeah, they're all serious. They're all really serious characters. Side note, my favorite Jeff Daniels movie is Arachnophobia.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that.
I'll have to watch that sometime.
Mark, my brother, he asked for that movie for our birthday a couple years ago. He got it. He's like, Mom, can you get me Arachnophobia? And yeah,
I actually like that movie. It's a fun, creepy spider movie. Anyway, that's a side note.
But everyone in this movie, Michael Pena, gosh dang, I am so bad with pronouncing names. He's funny in a lot of movies.
Yeah, that's just the funny thing, and that's just a funny observation I had. Is like, wow, there's a lot of people who are normally really funny in this movie, and it's not a funny movie. Like, they're not funny in it at all, but it is a comedy.
In fact, it won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy.
Except for I wouldn't put it down as a comedy.
Here's the thing, I firmly believe. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of award shows, but I think this movie did so well, or people liked it so much that they wanted to give it something. They knew it wasn't going to win Best Picture, and they wanted to give it some sort of award. So they put it in the category of with the comedies. It's like it won.
It's like a borderline comedy.
We got to hear Ridley Scott give a little speech about it because he was.
I didn't hear it.
You should look it up.
I've lost a lot of respect for Ridley Scott over the years.
Well,
like, he was an amazing filmmaker. Now, I don't think he's that great.
Well,
I feel like he fell from grace.
I guess,
just in my opinion.
It doesn't. The problem with Ridley Scott, which is a blanket statement, which probably can be easily disputed, is that it just seems like he doesn't have a specific. What's the word where you can tell certain people make certain movies? Style
or a style. Okay,
it just doesn't
Mr.
seem like
English teacher.
What's his style? What does he do that makes his movies special? Because
Movies.
he's got great ones I love.
Yeah. Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, and then we forgot Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah. Blade Runner is also one of my favorite movies of all time.
So good.
Even the new one, yeah.
Oh,
Did he direct the new one?
No.
Okay.
He didn't. But this one, the first time I saw Blade Runner, I'm like, eh. When I rewatched it to see the new one, I'm like, this is Blade Runner. Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's another one of my favorite movies.
In fact, I think the biggest problem with Blade Runner is it's kind of boring. There's some parts that are like...
Yeah, it's a little slow. I like slow movies. If it's a good story, I don't mind slow movies.
See, I love Gladiator.
One of my favorite movies of all time is, Space Odyssey. So that's one of the slowest movies ever.
Yeah, that's true. But that one's good. I actually kind of like his run in 2010.
I don't think I watched that one.
I haven't seen it since 2010, but I remember like, hey, it's not bad.
All right, what's the one you're talking about?
Oh yeah, The Legend. Have you seen this movie?
I don't think so. Tom Cruise.
I don't like it. I don't think it's good. It's weird as heck. It comes after Alien somehow.
Okay. Oh, it's 1985.
It's so
okay.
strange. It's Tom Cruise and Tim Curry. Curry is like this.
Curry. I love Tim Curry.
Is this like devil guy?
Okay, now I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's like a classic 80s fantasy thing.
That's hilarious.
Once again, I don't think it's good, and I think it kind of just shows an inconsistency of
I think
hits with Ridley Scott.
In my opinion, Ridley Scott just needs people around him. You know what I mean?
So,
because he had for Alien, he had H.R. Geiger. Is that right? H.R. Geiger? I don't know if it's H.R. Sorry if that's wrong. Who designed the alien and the creature stuff. And then and the scriptwriter, I forget who wrote the script. It was on the top of my head. I don't know who it is, but I really like him. He's a great screenwriter. I've actually studied his work a lot. But it was a great script. It had great designs around it. I don't know how heavily Ridley Scott was
all
in
the
the
ins
creation.
and outs of everything.
He had brilliant people around him.
He's directing the
sort of like a George Lucas sort of thing,
steering the ship, but he also had a lot of people
exactly
the designers and the writers and everything.
And that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying he's not a brilliant director, because he is, but I think he's a misguided director a lot of the time, though. I feel like he doesn't have a good set direction on anything. Not anything. That's a lie. I just feel like he isn't as defined as he could be. Going back to what you're saying, he doesn't have a distinct style.
Because the movies after The Martian, or I guess there's Alien Covenant. We're not fans.
I hate Alien Covenant. I hate it so much.
And then he did All the Money in the World, which is movie.
I haven't heard of it.
Well, that's the one where they replace the actor with Christopher Plummer.
Okay.
And Christopher Plummer got the Oscar nomination, and then no one saw the movie because Kevin Spacey was.
Oh,
he was originally cast
was right when Kevin Spacey's thing came out.
The whole thing went down.
That was not an innuendo.
Christopher Plummer was replaced, got an Oscar nomination.
Okay.
And then no one saw the movie. In fact, All the Money in the World, I forgot about that movie as well.
I don't think I ever even heard it.
I want to check it out, even though a TV show about the same story came out on a network. Which looks...
Did people think it was better?
I don't know. Actually, that's one, I believe Brendan Fraser is in it. I don't know.
I didn't know Brendan Fraser did things still.
He's in a show right now. He's the robot in the DC Comics TV show.
Oh, he's the robot guy in that's Doom Patrol, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but
I haven't seen it either. I've just seen commercials for it. That looks interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, but I didn't know Brendan Fraser was the robot.
Apparently,
cool.
he's really good in it.
That's really interesting. Maybe I'll watch an episode then.
Hey, but wait, we gotta get back to
All
the
right,
Martian.
yeah, let's get to The Martian. We spent 15 minutes not talking about The Martian.
We were talking about Ridley Scott movies, and then details about movies we don't know all the way.
Yeah.
But trust us, we love movies.
We do.
But
Also, Cassie's not here to direct us.
yeah, our producer
Again, yeah, she keeps us on track.
Okay, so
anyway, we hope you enjoyed that.
I want you to start at the beginning of the movie. I want you to just walk us through.
Okay, I liked the beginning of the movie. I was enthralled with how he got stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really cool that they focused on a lot of real life math, by the way. Like that's one of the big things that I really enjoyed about the movie. One thing that I don't know. I was excited, like I said, because I was expecting Castaway in space.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I was excited for. But that's not what the movie was. And that was where my disappointment came in. But the more I thought about it, the more I felt that the storytelling was bad. And that's my interpretation, is it was told more like a documentary than a movie. And that's where my first criticisms came in. Because I got bored.
You got bored.
I got bored in the movie. I did. And frustrated. I guess my biggest complaint is, and I'll back this up later, is I guess that's a dumb way to talk about movies. I'll back this up later.
No, you can talk about movies however you want, kid.
That's true. Thank you, Ryan.
This
it's
is
a free country.
Judge-free zone.
A circle of safety, if you will.
Yeah.
Again, I'm holding my hands up to indicate
he's making a circle with his hands
to show that this is a circle of safety. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about.
I know, we got too distracted by the circle.
Made Cassie really bad.
You got bored.
Yeah, I got bored. I just felt like the movie didn't keep my attention enough. It didn't show who the frick is it? We've been talking about
There's so many actors in this movie, though.
Like The Martian.
Matt
Damon.
No, that guy.
No, it's just Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I just didn't feel like I was with Matt Damon on the journey. That's
really,
yeah. I just didn't feel like. Matt Damon's character was fine. He was kind of just there. I don't know. I can't tell you a single thing about Matt Damon's character.
Really?
No, I didn't feel like.
Did we watch the same movie, Cade?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Continue.
Okay.
He doesn't like disco music. That's
yeah.
That's all I know about him.
But like I wrote a statement for this episode because I've been self-conscious ever since the Truman the Truman Show episode, because my main argument was I didn't like it just because,
Mm-hmm.
But I wrote a thing.
I will say this real quick. I think that I didn't like it just because it's a valid argument. I don't think you have to have a real reason to like or dislike a movie sometimes. And don't let anybody tell you different. I think you should give every movie a chance and everything, but I don't think that's an invalid argument.
That's a good point. And I think it's kind of something I want to always remind ourselves and people listening about movies in general. You don't have to like a movie people like. And if you like a movie people don't like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Movies are art, and art is subjective.
It's all subjective. If you just don't like something, that's fine. I usually prefer to have a reason, a deeper reason than I just don't. But sometimes that's just where it is.
Mm-hmm. Like, for example, the Martin Scorsese film Silence.
You don't like Silence?
No, I love Silence. Silence had
Silence.
a profoundly powerful impact on me.
Okay.
And people don't talk about it.
That's true. It was a passion project, though.
Yeah. And I read the book for school, but I still read it. And I'm like, it moved me in a way a movie hasn't moved me in a long time.
That's awesome.
Anyway,
what's your written statement about The Martian?
want me to read this? Want me to read?
I do want you to read it. Did you write this on Letterboxd?
I wrote it on. I was at work, looking like I was typing. I typed this.
Well, you were typing.
Oh, that's good. Do you want me to,
I did see that, and I
did
intentionally avoided it.
Oh yeah, this is what I posted it on Letterboxd. I don't know how I didn't reread it. I just typed out my feelings because I wanted to get it out there.
Yeah,
let's sound. Okay, so
Ryan wrote me a letter. Nice.
Yes, The Martian is a full meal. It has humor in a way that feels natural and real to how people act and talk. It has drama that drives up the suspense and grows more and more desperate for our characters. There's a huge list of actors that make up an ensemble that all seem to shine in their own screen time. The opening scene, which I love.
Okay, I'll give you the opening scene.
When
it was great.
Mark Watney, making his way back into the shelter to dress his wound, starts the movie swinging. Right away, we are on the edge of our seats because everything looks and sounds desperate. The soundtrack is more of just a paranoid sound. Not really necessarily a soundtrack. It's more of like a sound that gradually increases and drives up the viewer's anxiety. Matt Damon acts the crap out of the scene, and his stress and fear look real. His final and resilient F word, where he just says like the F word after he takes out the metal piece, it sets the tone for the rest of the film. We then see Mark Watney slowly and verbally realize he is going to die in front of the camera, but then at the same time making the choice to live. Because before we really get to the other cast, there's a chunk of the movie where it's just Mark Watney, and I
keep thinking you're going to say Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Watney. And he tells the camera, he does the math in front of everyone who is doing the vlog thing. He realizes he's going to die, but then he decides he's not. He makes a choice to live. A few years prior to this film, Ridley Scott's brother died from suicide, and while The Martian is based on a book, it also feels like a call to the audience that we can make it through hard times. When it looks like
Ryan, you're getting really deep on this. I don't know if I'm prepared.
It looks like there's literally no way to keep living, and there will be options to take, when it looks like there's no way to keep living, that there will be options to take and pass a trial to make it through to surviving, and there are always people there to help, which I think is the main message of this film.
And I've never thought of that before, so that is a valid point. I can see that, and I can see why you like the movie better now. I can understand that more now.
Hold on.
But before you move on to the rest of your statement, I do want to say that I do like the portion where it's just us and Matt Damon on ours. That's what I loved about the movie. That was the portion of the movie I really enjoyed.
Oh, so you kind of, when it started to be more of a...
I liked being with Matt Damon on this emotional and physical struggle and journey. When it went to Earth too much, that's when I started losing interest. I didn't really like the other characters.
Well, hold your
continue.
horses. I will be talking about that. It's coming up on my written statement. Okay, not to mention how captivating it is to see Watney use his knowledge to save him. Only never has Botany looked so cool, and never has there been a movie where I would be so dead shortly after the beginning. And actually, our friend in common, Hames, he's read the book.
Yeah.
He said that he thinks the book is so good because it has real science, but it's in a way that makes it easy to follow and understand.
That's really cool.
I haven't read the book,
but
I believe that would be really captivating reading of the book version. Like, oh, wow, this science, which is real, is really cool because he dumps it down to make it everyone understand.
You know, I haven't read the book, but leaving the theater, I did hear somebody ask if it was a real story. Yes.
It's a true story. Yeah, man.
I guess.
Time?
Yeah, we went to Mars. Yeah, I remember that.
All right, hold on. Let me finish my statement.
Okay, sorry.
And then we can get to talking about other parts. All right, so this film has an astonishingly amazing cast. Jeff Daniels, Sean Bean, I'm gonna murder this, even though I love the actor, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
I have no idea how to
He's
pronounce
the guy
his
who's,
name.
you know who I'm talking about.
I do.
12
yeah.
Years a Slave.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know how to pronounce his name either.
Good. Anyway, Benedict Wong, Donald Glover, Kristen Wiig, Jessica Chastain, Michael Pena, once again,
Peanut.
Sebastian Stan and Kate Mara, and they all are all rounded and feel like real people. The best thing about this movie, besides the real life science and encouragement to keep discovering about how the world works, is how amazing everyone in this is in this movie. The politics in the NASA world never slow down the pace of this movie, and it is just as engaging as what Watney is doing on Mars. Debates characters have, like whether or not to tell Watney's crew about his survival, NASA debating each other about what's best for NASA's image, and working on how to save Matt Damon, are all done together or against each other, and it never once feels dumbed down or works against the pace of the movie. I'm gonna, because you said you weren't as interested, but I have the opposite thought that it actually is just as interesting as the survival stuff. The drama and the politics on Earth.
It just felt like a different movie for me at that point. It felt too different. Because I was really getting into it with being with Matt Damon on Mars. Like, just having him stranded there. And I also... I didn't make the suicide connection, but that's a really good connection to make. The anti-suicide and
what I did, I googled why did Ridley Scott make The Martian, and an article talked about his brother, who also a director, Tony Scott, who directed like Top Gun.
Oh, that's awesome.
He died of suicide, and apparently
it's horrible.
Ridley Scott dedicated the last two movies before The Martian to Tony.
I do want to say that that's a pretty hefty subject for me. I actually directed a short film about suicide.
It's really good.
If you guys are interested, I'll link
to the YouTube.
Yeah, I'll link it in the description.
It's really good.
Yeah, the audio's bad, and it was my second short film I directed, so it's not the best, but I put a lot of effort into that. Anyway, so that's a very not touchy. It's a very important topic to me.
Well, and I will say, Ridley Scott he said that it's not specifically about his brother's suicide, but I think because...
Contributing factor.
Yeah, and the fact it's impossible not to analyze movies certain ways. Like, who makes some and when they're made. Like, it's impossible not to analyze some things. Of course, yeah. And I think it's impossible not to analyze this film of it. You can keep going. You can find a way to survive.
And I did like that message. That was a good message. I just felt like they didn't portray it well enough.
Okay. Wait, let me read
the
ending of my thing. Okay, not to mention that this movie is relentless. Besides the fact that a man is left on Mars and is trying to survive, he loses his potato plants, the rocket they send off to him explodes, and then the last sequence has a never-ending of problems after problem that they have to face. It builds the suspense and engagement of the movie, and also the overall feeling of urgency this movie is thriving on. It's not enough for The Martian to have a man on another planet. The movie needs to make it as thrilling as they possibly can. There's problem after problem.
Yeah. I did like that too. The problems just didn't relent.
Yeah, it kept building. The movie is ultimately very human. A world is united because of the concern of one man alone on Mars. Matt Damon brings a very human presentation for Mark Watney. He is funny in a way that seems natural, like in real life, and he also does little things like touching the little potato plant saying hello there, or getting upset over his crew not being informed, because that's when he drops. You see him freaking out through the glass. He is charming and relatable. The movie shows how a team of people who are all very different from each other is needed to bring someone back home to save someone.
And we've spent so much money on saving Matt Damon.
But I guess overall, I think Matt Damon kills this movie.
So is this closing arguments then?
Yeah. I think all the stuff on Earth, I think, is exciting and engaging, and it's interesting to see what they do to try to save him. Like, I think the science and all of the different ways and processes they have to go through, I think it's super interesting. And like China came in at the end to save the day. Like all the stuff, and it feels like how things might actually be. Like NASA,
like the best option. You know?
Like NASA was concerned about their image type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought every cast, like even Sean Bean's character, I'm forgetting the detail now, but he wouldn't sit down or something, and he gets fired. Yeah. You know, like the little politics that went into just a team trying to save one person. I thought it was it was interesting, and I love.
Yeah, it was okay.
This movie was so good.
I didn't like the fact that we didn't really see Matt Damon's descent into like insanity, because like later in the film he like starts getting crazier and crazier, you know, just because he's been alone so long. And I feel like that was just too much of a switch. I didn't see it happen, and that was what was upsetting to me. Well, and like to make the Castaway comparison, we see Tom Hanks fall down that pit of insanity of being alone, and I didn't get that with Matt Damon, and that's ultimately why I gave it 2 stars, is because that 1 star, the difference is because I wanted a different movie. That's it. That's the only reason it's 2 stars and not 3 stars, is because I wanted Castaway in space. I wanted a different movie.
I feel like we gotta call that thing the Last Jedi syndrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the movie we all made in our minds.
It wasn't what I wanted, and that's it. That's it. And I realized that that's a little petty, but the reason that I would ultimately give it 3 stars instead of 2 is because I disagree with the storytelling.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't like the way the movie was presented. I don't feel like it was as effective as it could have been. Like you said, I love the opening. I love
so good.
The message of solve one problem after another. You solve the next problem, then you get to go home. I thought that was a great message. I thought that was a great moral and theme to the movie. But this is my prime example of why I didn't like the movie.
Okay, I'm excited.
In the scene where Matt Damon goes out to find the old Mars rover, and he hooks it up to try to communicate with Earth. We were cutting back between Matt Damon and Earth, but Matt Damon didn't know that Earth knew that he was trying to communicate with him, and Matt Damon didn't know it was going to work. And for me, that scene was a disappointment, because I would have much rather been in the dark with Matt Damon.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't want to see Earth. I didn't want to know that Earth was there waiting for him, that NASA was waiting for him to communicate with him. I wanted Matt Damon to take a shot in the dark and be rewarded, and let the audience be rewarded with him.
Okay, I will give you that. That would have been really cool.
And so, but that's the way the whole movie was for me.
Okay, this is what I would say to that, because I will agree. I think that opening scene, or him going and taking that piece out of his stomach, it's probably the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then I think there's a chunk, like I said earlier, of just Matt Damon surviving, sciencing the crap out of Mars and making the potato plants.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Earth, and then I think it slowly turns into it starts mixing it more and more, which
it's a different kind
you
of movie.
are not a fan of. I'm finding out.
Yeah, that's what I'm not a fan of.
But I think, once again, that's part of almost the realism of this movie, because they start controlling what he does on Mars.
Which
I think also seems like realistic.
It feels a bit like a documentary, and I think I said that before. Is like it feels a bit too much like a documentary, not enough like a movie to me.
That's interesting, because I didn't think that at all, and I also didn't think Matt Damon really descended into madness as much.
Well, he didn't descend into madness, but like he acted differently. Like he became a different person alone on Mars, and I didn't see that happen. If that makes sense. Not in the same way we saw Tom Hanks change on the island in Castaway. That's
a great movie.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to see him change like Tom Hanks did. Because he did change. We saw evidence of him changing, but we didn't see him change.
Well, I just think his character, Mark Watney, I found this movie a lot funnier than I remember. Because I remember it won the Golden Globe for the comedy movie, but I was laughing, and there's this quotes I thought was so funny. Like with the disco thing, he's listening to that song, no, I'm not going to turn the beat around. I refuse to. Like that, or
there's some good parts I laughed.
I don't mean to boast, but I'm the best botanist on this planet. And at the end, when they're literally about to rescue him, he hears how fast they're going by. He's like, "What? Well, I guess I'll wave to you as you go by." I don't know. I think that's just kind of how he is. I think that's kind of how it was through the whole
deflecting with humor.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's fine. I don't know. Final thoughts. You've actually brought a lot of good points to my eyes, and I have more respect for the movie than I did previously. But overall, I think that the storytelling wasn't as good as it could have been, and that's kind of my final say on it.
That's fair. Before I get to my final thought, I texted Mark.
Yeah.
Why do they call it Sauls and not Days? Because in the movie it's like Saul.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. And it's not Days. And he didn't answer me. He just sent me a Wikipedia article.
That sounds like Mark.
And I'm not
Mark.
going to read it because...
A soul, isn't that just like a...
Oh.
Because it's not the same amount of time as a day?
Oh, I guess. I just kind of skimmed the Wikipedia
That's
article.
my guess.
I don't know. Something.
Anyway, what are your final thoughts?
I was just almost this time surprised how much I was enjoying this movie. It's another film. I'm like, I don't understand why you don't like it. I thought it was funny and engaging and captivating. And I think I literally can't think of something I don't like. The thing you said would have been cool, but it's not how it is.
Yeah, that's just, I think that would have just... I just use that as evidence to say, like, hey, the storytelling I don't think was up to par.
Yeah. I just think every character and every actor are distinct, and they feel like a real person, which I know is, like, the point of acting.
Yeah, that's what acting and writing a good character is.
I love this movie.
I will say, I will finish on something I forgot to mention, is the fact that I really loved the way Mars looked. Mars was amazing. Oh, and just the landscapes and it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful planet, and they built the world really nicely.
The Martian. Anyway, go check it out. Go read my review on Letterboxd. Give that a like.
Let me know if
read Cade's review too.
I didn't write one yet. I need to write more.
Making you feel guilty.
I do need to write more.
You do write. You write a lot more than I do, but
we're gonna start writing more reviews on there. Keep it more active, more entertaining for you guys to go follow us there.
Yeah, we didn't write this is random because we're gonna move on to movie trailers, but we both saw Us.
Yeah,
neither of us have written a review yet.
We'll go write a review this week.
Yeah,
and you guys can go read it there, or if you guys want to hear us review Us, we would be happy to also do that. All right, we're gonna move on to trailers. These are kind of oldish trailers, not super new, but they're not super old either.
None of the movies are out yet.
So. No, none of the movies are out yet. I think the oldest trailer it might be like a month old, but like at the same time I haven't seen it. And we're talking about Godzilla. There was a new
Godzilla
trailer out this week.
King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters, yeah.
Man, all the trailers have been so good.
This and before we get into the trailer, we're just gonna put a little tidbit here. We're going to also review Godzilla King of the Monsters. Not Godzilla, the first Godzilla. The legendary 2014 Godzilla.
The surprise hit Godzilla, in all honesty.
And we disagree heavily on that movie. I think you'll be surprised especially after hearing us talk about this. But we will review that and go over that movie when this movie comes out.
I think
so. Same week that King of the Monsters comes out, we will talk about the legendary Godzilla.
But they're killing it with the trailer game.
Oh yeah,
every trailer looks good. Is so good.
And I will say that I'm a huge Godzilla fan.
Well, yeah, Cade knows all the monster names. All I know is Mothra.
King Ghidorah.
Yeah, I don't know
Mothra.
who that one is.
Rodan.
Rodan.
That's the giant like pterodactyl looking one.
See, I don't even remember that one. I remember
He's the one that was flying. And
the
you were
three-headed
like, cool.
one?
No, he's the red one, right?
Yeah, I don't remember that. But okay.
Anyway,
the first trailer had the classical song.
And then
the second trailer had like a weird sound effect, but it worked with it.
And then this new teaser trailer thing had Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Like instrumental slow piano. It's cool.
I almost can't wait for it.
Draws me in. I worry about the characters, like the human characters, but I think they'll be fine.
Well, last time,
let's not talk too much about Godzilla.
Yeah, we're just excited.
You guys can probably guess some of our complaints or issues or whatever.
Yeah, but we'll just say we're excited.
I am very excited. I think that the monsters look fantastic.
Because
I love Godzilla.
You and your wife just watched an old one, right?
Yeah, yesterday actually we had a tiny Godzilla marathon. We watched Godzilla vs. Mothra from '92. And then we watched Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah from 1991. I'm trying to find Ghidorah. What is it? Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Because that's
Does he have his own movie?
Well, no. Every movie he's been in, Godzilla's been in too.
Okay.
Mothra has also only been in Godzilla movies, but she's actually based off a book.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, she actually has her own book.
Interesting.
At least I think so. I'll have to double check that, but maybe fact check me there.
Well, I guess we have other thoughts, but we'll save that for the Godzilla.
Yeah, we'll save that. I think the monsters look fantastic. Yeah. I do want to watch Ghidorah the three-headed monster before the King of the Monsters, because this movie looks like a remake of that movie, because in that movie it was Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan coming together to fight King Ghidorah, the three-headed one. And that looks like what's going to happen in this movie too.
And he the one, I love the effect in the trailer, the big monsters flying, and just the cities or the town underneath them is just getting destroyed because of
the wind pressure.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I think my favorite shot was like when the people are in the distance, and then there's like smoke and clouds, and then there was lightning showing King Ghidorah in the distance.
Oh right, I know what you're
that
talking
was
about.
cool.
A lot of cool images. All right,
a lot of really cool images. The monsters look great. I'm excited. I love monster movies. Also, yeah, we're excited.
Yes. So for the next trailer,
Toy Story
4. Oh my. Okay, I have a lot. Thoughts on Toy
I do
Story
too.
4.
I still don't think the Toy Story 4 needs to be made or needed to be made, because Toy Story 3 was a fantastic conclusion.
Yeah. That's the thing. Toy Story 4, it needs to be perfect or else I might hate it.
It's true.
Cuz you ended it perfectly with Toy Story 3.
Yeah, it was a great ending.
It was a perfect ending, Cade.
It was a perfect ending.
And then they're like Toy Story 4 rumors. I remember hearing.
Yeah, and we're like,
no, they wouldn't do that.
But then they did.
And then they did. Okay,
but I have high hopes. I do, because I like Forky.
Okay,
I like Forky.
Let's talk about Forky.
I think that they're continuing down the existential toy crisis of existence,
Yeah.
perfectly, because I mean that's the same thing that Buzz and Woody and all the toys had in all the movies. All the movies are existential crisis about the purpose of your life. Like, why are we here? Oh, yeah. What is the purpose? And I think that Toy Story 4 is continuing that beautifully with Forky.
Okay, but Forky was a spork with two googly eyes, glued on,
and like
popsicle sticks,
weird mouth thing going on, and some pipe cleaner arms.
Now is a sentient thing.
Yeah, look, yeah.
Can any what if a child picks up like a shoe and is playing with a shoe? Does the shoe become sentient in the
I don't
Toy
know,
Story
Ryan.
universe?
These are the questions
the
that
rules?
I've always had about Toy Story. Is like, when does something become sentient? You know, I don't know.
Toy Story always made me feel guilty for not playing with toys.
Well, I collect toys. I have like dozens in the attic.
But do you play with them?
No, they're in boxes.
That's what they want.
And that's horrifying. Like, I would be a monster to those toys.
Anyway, I'm just so upset. I mean, if Toy Story 4 is perfect...
I'm not super upset. I think it'll be a fun movie.
I have the highest expectations.
Okay, I
should say that.
I really like the gangster toys in the thrift shop. Or the antique shop. The antique shop's cool.
I like how they look kind of scary.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
And I think I like it when cartoons aren't afraid to be kind of scary.
Toy Story's never been... I mean, they almost died in the last one.
Well, remember the first Toy Story? There's Sid's room.
Yeah, that was terrifying. They've never been afraid of being horrifying.
Well,
I think it'll be good, though.
I was talking about this with my wife the other night, how I saw a list one time of disturbing things in Disney movies. And there was things, admittedly, are disturbing, but I remember watching them as a kid and not thinking that. Like when Tarzan, the bad guy, Kerchak, he dies, he gets caught on the vines.
Yeah, and he got hung.
And you see his shadow.
Okay, that scared me.
That scared
I'm
you?
not gonna lie. Yeah, that terrified me as a kid.
So that one, I was like, oh.
It doesn't bother you.
I'm like, in my mind as a child, like, oh, bad guy died, so, you know.
So it's fine.
It all works out. Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
I think kids' brains are just different that way.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things. We should do a special where things that scared us as children.
Because I have some funny ones.
I do too.
Want me to tell you one of
them? No, we should save it.
It's embarrassing. I'll save it.
Well, that's tempting, but maybe we'll have a Halloween special.
Oh, that'd be a good one. That'd be good.
Things that scared us as children.
Yeah.
I know that Your Movie Sucks did this.
Yeah, he kind of started.
He started that kind of thing, but that was like a couple years ago.
I liked his video. I don't watch him anymore.
I'm subscribed to him. I watch his videos once in a while. I think he's a great YouTuber, but I don't know. I haven't watched any of his videos in such a long time. Like here and there, I watch his quickie videos once in a while, but he hasn't made a really in-depth review again for a while that I've noticed.
But I am interested in doing a version of things that scare us.
Yeah, maybe later this year, this fall, we'll do a spoopy episode.
Spoopy?
Spoopy episode.
The spoopy episode. That's what
the spoops.
I got the spoops. Oh, speaking of spoops, the last trailer we watched, John Wick 3.
Yeah, that's so scary.
Okay, but Cade hasn't seen John Wick 1 or John Wick 2.
I haven't seen any John Wick movies, but I want to. Like, they've been on my list for such a long time. I just haven't watched them.
Do you have access to them?
I don't know. I think I do. I
have them. You can borrow them.
Oh, then yes, I have access to them.
I love them. I love them. And then we watched the third trailer. What do you think of the trailer? Not really knowing.
I think it looks fun. Like, not knowing anything about John Wick, I think it's cool. I do like the swords and the motorcycles. I think that's neat. It has some cool action. I think that Keanu Reeves is a good action movie star.
Yeah, we were saying how he can say lines that would it would probably be. It's not a good line necessarily.
Like a cheesy
line. But when he says it, it's just so cool.
It works.
I forgot what line was in this trailer. Like,
I need guns. Yeah, that was cool.
And you were telling me about a documentary that you watched.
Speaking of, but before I get to the documentary, I just remembered this piece of movie news. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 3.
There you go, yeah.
Because I just remembered Keanu Reeves said something about that recently.
Yeah, they released a clip. Because when they said the title in the clip, it was Keanu Reeves and the other guy.
Anyway, but Ryan and I have a special history with Bill and Ted. Because, like, remember our art teacher let us borrow it.
Yeah,
and we went to your house and watched it.
And we laughed our heads off.
We love that movie. Those are... I have both of them now.
I admittedly have not seen the second one, but I love the first one.
I've seen the second one, but I don't remember
They hang out with death. That's all I know.
Yeah. We'll watch those. Anyway, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is awesome. The other Keanu Reeves
is just awesome.
Is in school, I've watched some...
Wait, tell everyone what you're in school for, Cade.
Film. I'm in film school.
Film major.
I'm a film. I am. Anyway, we were watching. I'm in my cinematography class, or cinematography, as we say
The
it.
cinematography.
Yeah. Cinematography class.
That would be not a bad podcast name, Cade.
Cinematography. If we ever have a cinematography special episode, we'll call it cinematography. Anyway, Keanu Reeves documentary Side by Side. It's I'll link the trailer to it in the video as well on YouTube. But it's surprisingly good. Like, I made fun of it when I first heard that he made a documentary, because it's Keanu Reeves sitting around talking about lenses. The documentary is Keanu Reeves comparing the differences between film and digital media.
I swear I've seen part of it, because I hadn't thought about that for a long time, but you were talking to me just before we started recording. I swear I've seen, because I don't know, but like it talks about directors that still use film and directors that have switched to digital. Do you think? What do you think the future of film? Like, do you think people are holding on to it are never gonna let go, or?
Well, we're getting into the film theory, not theory, but personally, I don't know, because film itself, we haven't surpassed film. As far as quality goes, we have never surpassed film with digital, not yet. Digital is more versatile. And this is kind of basically what he talks about in the documentary, is like the pros and cons of film and the pros and cons of digital. Like, that's what the documentary is about. And it's a really interesting documentary. Like, I made fun of his, like, Keanu Reeves talking about film, and he says stupid lines like...
Well, Keanu Reeves is awesome.
Keanu Reeves is awesome, but, like, he says lines like, digital cameras don't use film. And that, to me, is hilarious. But the documentary itself, like, if you guys have the opportunity, I highly recommend it. It's really engaging. Like, I actually was really intrigued. And it's great to see the cinematographers and directors talk about film and digital, because they love it. And you can tell they love it. And it's just great to hear them talk. But as far as film goes, they've done... they do scans. You know how we get Blu-rays of old film, right?
I guess not.
Is they take...
I thought it was just movie magic.
Yeah, it is. So they take the old film reels and they scan them again in 4K. That's how we get Blu-ray and 4K TV. That's how we get higher quality picture, is they just re-scan them and print that to a Blu-ray disc or an or a 4K disc. But they've done, like scientific film scans up to 32K. Like,
what?
Film has never been surpassed. But the thing is that film is insanely expensive now. Like, I may never work with film. Just because of the price. By choice. No, not by choice. I would love to work with film. I would love to edit with film. I'd love to learn how to do that. But I probably never will work with film. I think
that's something I haven't even thought about.
Just because it's too expensive, because it's literally made out of silver.
Well,
it's
really?
Yeah, it's made out of silver, and there's only 2 places in the U.S. I think one in New York. It could just only be the one in California now that actually developed the film.
I guess I hadn't even thought about this.
It's insane, and it's like thousands of dollars to even purchase film. Yeah, and each reel is only about 8 minutes of film, like, depending on what size of film you're using.
I know the directors I know that use film and probably will forever, like Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg, and Christopher Nolan. They all still use. And it
costs so much money for film. Like, again, it's like literally silver. The silver is what is it's like silver suspended in like cellophane. Huh. Interesting. It's really interesting. And
Spielberg, insane. I don't think his last movie was Ready Player One. I mean,
I haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it.
But he's film. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just an interesting little side note about film, and we thank you guys for listening to the podcast.
Yeah, The Martian. What did you think?
Yeah, tell us what you guys think below.
Who's right, first of all?
Who's right?
Who do you agree with?
Who do you agree with?
That's the better way to say it.
What do you guys think? Do you have different opinions about the movie than us? Let us know in the comments.
Then other movies you're looking forward to, like we even talked about a few trailers, but what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, tell us what you're looking forward to.
Oh, and then
tune in next time.
Yeah,
because we'll be talking about Venom.
Venom. Yeah, Venom.
Yep.
And we don't even have a crazy difference on this one.
No, we don't. It's not a big difference, but it is a difference. We do disagree, at least a little bit.
Yeah, and so come back next week for Venom. I guess we don't only care about Marvel movies.
That's true. We've just been picking them a lot lately. We talk about Marvel a lot.
It's just
we do.
Ragnarok was the reason we did this. I was gonna say brainchild. That's not right.
No,
that's not the right.
We didn't create
nomenclature.
Speaking of Ragnarok, I did watch Planet Hulk, the cartoon.
Oh, how was that?
Way better than Ragnarok.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, we'll end it there. Thank you so much for listening.